Hello YouTube and welcome to Traps Tuesday Tuts. In this episode we're going to look at an awesome crafting and furnace room that I've built here. You know, there's got a nice shelf up here, got little flower potted plants, and it's it's got some furnaces and a a couple, it's got some chests right here. All the basics that you need in this nice small little who's that back there? Oh look, it's Knockpoint. How you doing, Knockpoint? Oh, Knockpoint. Did you hide a door back here? Oh, this is what this whole build is all about. The bigger crafting and furnace room. I get it. I totally get it. Makes. That's not what it's about? Oh. Well, hello everybody. This is actually a different build. It's a redstone door build. This is just our base that's going to possibly be in part of our other world. Knockpoint is trying to make an entrance that's secret into his tunnel to his base, and so this is a mock-up of a possible build for that. So Knockpoint here is looking for some ideas, and this is what I came up with. We got a couple little armor stands and then some swords, and this is actually a passcode that will be needed to enter the secret base. And how this works is these just get turned to a certain point, and a stairwell will pop out of the floor. And then we just take them back off the code. I usually like to make them face a certain way just so they look nice, but that is that. Come on in here, hit the button, that'll close it on up, and then you can continue on your way to your secret base. So we're going to look at how to build this. What I've done is I've actually built this out of the ground over here. And this is the same build as that, but I have done some color coding with the wool. It's just going to help us figure out what different circuits are and what they do, and help coordinate all of that. So we have a few basic parts. We got our lock system, which is a combination lock. There's two separate strands. What we got, the red is going to be one side of that. The orange is the other side. So that's what those two colors are. Then we have our blue circuits that run our floor that opens and closes, as well as our yellow circuit that runs our stairs that go up and down. Then the only bits left are the light blue bit is going to be our locking system to actually lock the button in place. It's basically a T flip-flop without any pistons. The green is the run to the mechanism that actually fires the two doorways, and the purple is the button line. And so that just takes our redstone from our button to the system to override the locking system. So let's break this down into pieces. Over here we have our stairs and our floor. Anything that actually moves I've replaced with quartz, just so we can see what parts actually move. And if Knockpoint, if you want to hit the button just so we can actually watch it in action real quick. So that's how that functions there. As you can see, those will pull back and the stairs will pop up, and then the other direction, the stairs will retract down, and then these will extend out. And they actually do it in sequence. That's not necessary. They could all go at once. But I just thought it looked a little bit cooler, since I got the repeaters anyway, to just stick a little delay on there and make them go in sequence. So let's start off with something pretty basic. It's our T flip-flop. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to turn a button into a lever. Basically a single pulse signal. Instead of just being on and then back off once the button stops sending out redstone, it will actually take that signal and turn it into a constant on or constant off. And this is a pretty simple little design. It actually came from a couple of different sources. The YouTuber I actually took it from was Big Pile of Wesley, but I don't know if he actually created it or just posted it again. I know I've seen it a few different times. Basically, it takes a redstone signal in, and so this is your input block right here, and it will turn off this torch, which unlocks this this repeater, while powering this repeater, locking this repeater. So this will be locked on while this one gets unlocked and is able to pass that signal on. And then this redstone torch will get turned off by this redstone repeater. And that will then make it so that when this gets unlocked, it's then off. And so then that'll cycle the signal right there. Go ahead and do that again. So hopefully you can see what's happening there. One of the things I didn't actually talk about is when a repeater gets powered from the side, like this repeater is powering this repeater, that will lock it into position. As long as it's powered, it can't change its on or off state. So if it gets locked when it's on, it will be locked on and it can't turn off. And so even though it's not receiving a new signal, it will stay on until it gets unlocked. So that's an important thing to note. I didn't actually go over that during our tutorials because I knew I'd get to it in further tutorials. But that is a thing to note, and it makes it so that that works quite well. All right, so our next thing we're going to look at real quick is our floor opening and closing. Now, this system is what we figured out was a good way to do this inside of all of this mess. We have a redstone block that gets pushed in and out from a sticky piston going between powering this line and powering that line. So we've just duplicated that over here. Currently, obviously, it doesn't have anything to power here because that circuit's all the way over there. But what this does is when this gets retracted, it will power both of these lines, which then turns off these torches, which turns off this redstone line, allowing these repeaters to turn off, which allows these torches to turn on, extending all of these pistons here. So that's how that system works. Similarly, this is our actual up and down. This is the other half of that circuit. And once this redstone gets powered, it unpowers this torch, which unpowers this redstone line, unpowering these repeaters, which allows these torches to power, which extends the stairs. So it just works in the opposite way of that. So when this is extended, this is on, whereas that one, when it's retracted, that is on. So now comes to our trickiest bit of redstoning. This is our locking system. Basically, whatever you put here, its position, as we discussed in the tutorials before, will actually change the amount of output that this block puts out. And what we've actually done is we've gone ahead and right-clicked on this comparator, turning it into subtract mode. In subtract mode, what it actually does is it takes the signal that it's coming in on the side and it removes that from whatever signal it's sending out. So as the signal running into it from the back changes, it then subtracts that much redstone. It subtracts from that the amount of power that it's getting from the side. So what we've done is we've just placed a hopper here. So we've put 45 items into this because 45 is going to subtract because 45 is the correct subtraction for position 3 to activate this circuit. There actually are several different amounts. If you wanted to go position 1 to be the correct one, you would do 0 items in the hopper. Position 2 is 22 items. Position 3 is 45 items. Position 4 is 64 items plus 4 other items. Position 5 would be a full stack of 64 plus 27 items. Position 6 is 64 plus 50 items. Position 7 is 2 full stacks plus 9 items. And position 8 is 2 full stacks plus 10 items. and that will give you the right redstone signal to make this redstone light here. So currently right now, this is receiving a signal of 1 from behind it. So it's got 1 as the input signal. However, like I said, it's got 3 from the hopper coming in from the side. So with that 3 signal being subtracted from the 1, it's actually at -2 right now. So this isn't getting powered. If we turn it 1, it still isn't powered. And then if we turn it again, now it's getting a power of 3 subtracting the actually 2 from the side, making this get powered with the extra 1. Now if we turned it again, it would get 4, and that would then power this redstone as well. That redstone would then turn off this torch, turning on this torch. Basically what we have here is a NOR gate. So when this redstone torch is off and this redstone torch is off, then this redstone torch is on, sending signal to our circuit, whatever that happens to be, which is when it's on, that's what we want. So before this sends out any signal, this doesn't get powered, which means that this is powered, sending this signal. As soon as this gets signal, this turns off, which allows this to turn on. However, once we go one further in the combination, this will get power, which will turn this off, this on, and then this off from this side. And we can see that by going to here. So you'll see that this all reversed here because this turned off, on, off, and this is off. So that's how this works. And again, now I've set it back to 1. So this torch is on because this isn't powered, turning it off. So that's how the lock works, essentially. Now in our setup over here, the lock isn't laid out exactly like this. What we actually see is our locking system goes down because we need to get it to the bottom. So our lock actually gets turned on. So this is the lock power initially, that when it hasn't yet gotten to the number that we want is powered. And then once it gets too far, this is the one that will get powered to power this block once it gets too far. So if I turn this here, you'll see that, oh, that's not the right one. This combination is 4. So this just got powered right here, but this one isn't powered. So this is off, which allows this whole redstone signal to be off, which means that this torch here is now on. Whereas if I go one more, we're going to see that this torch is now on because this one is off, because this is now getting power from here. So it's the same system, it's just done sideways and going down a bit, but it does the exact same thing as over here, so that's why it works. Also, something else that I've done is I have another NOR gate down here, which takes the signal from both locks after it's been inverted right here, and that's what will actually activate this system here. So this will change direction because this gets power, because both sides happen to be right. And then what we've done is we've taken our button here, and that comes in and just activates the same exact system right here by connecting up right there. So that's how the whole thing works. Obviously, you can take any of these circuits and use them in any combination. You can change up their size. You can change up their amounts. If you want this to be 3 long or 7 long, that will work just fine. You can do the exact same floor opening system. This is kind of a stock setup that a lot of people use. It works a lot better than the T flip-flops that have pistons, in my opinion. But that's kind of personal preference. I just don't like the noise of pistons going off for no reason. So unless something is actually opening or closing, I try not to have pistons. Obviously, we broke that rule right here as a power source, but everything else that's a piston is actually a piston because it doesn't move. So that's pretty much the whole setup. We'll see you next time. Remember, folks, don't get trapped without me.